Guys, Zach here, coming at you with another video. So today I'm going to be talking to you guys about Mario Party and what they can do to make this series great again. Make Mario Party great again. Mapaga? Mapuga? I don't know. But either way, you guys, today I'm going to be talking about what really sets these Mario Party games apart from these Mario Party games and how they can really make it the best of both worlds. Except, really, it's not like Luigi's Mansion where there's an audience for both games. A majority of the people do not like the new Mario Party games. So, today we're going to be talking about making them definitely way more faithful to the originals and what they can really do, what they need to listen to the fans about to make the newer Mario Parties great.
ZakPak, he's always there for you. ZakPak, only on YouTube. ZakPak, what will he do next? ZakPak, let's find out, 'cause it's on with the show.
Now keep in mind that Super Mario Party was definitely a step in the right direction. It was definitely, that's why I always kind of put it in the middle, because it takes some of the new elements of Mario Party and integrates it with the old elements, which I think it does decently well, but there are still a lot more things that they need to do to make a potential sequel for Super Mario Party great, and that's what I'm getting into today. So I've got 5 different categories I'm going to be going into today, being boards, minigames, playable characters, items, and modes. So those are the main topics of today's video. So I'm going to be starting off with the boards. Obviously, they were definitely going in the right direction with blue and red spaces. It should be that format, not a car, not, linear. They should be blue and red spaces where you can go around a board as many times as you want with branching paths going around and just overall that kind of style. Definitely turn style, not like it's like the newer Mario parties, there weren't turns. It was basically you start at a starting point and you get to the end and face a boss. Definitely should not be in that format. The Mario Party was made like a board game where you go around and, you collect stars. Whoever has the most stars at the end wins. That's how the boards should be set up. That's how Mario Party's been for years. Always great. And then when they changed it in Mario Party 9, decided to keep with that formula, it just did not work. So, definitely have the blue and red spaces come back. But the thing is, before you say, but Super Mario Party did have that. And they did. But the problem they didn't have is my second point with the boards, is they did not have a good variety and they did not have a good size. Now, another important thing about Mario Party is the board, each one of them is unique. There's unique themes to each one of them. And the problem that Super Mario Party faces, as well as Mario Parties 9 and 10, is that there's the boards, most of them are decently small. Not all of them, but this is particularly a problem in Super Mario Party. The boards are small. The boards, if you're going to have a game that lasts an hour or more, you should have a big enough board to where it's in 2 turns or 3 turns, you can't, get around the whole board. The board should be big. I mean, look at, most of the boards in every single Mario Party game. Literally any single one. Just name them. And then any of the ones from Super Mario Party, they don't compare. They are way too small. And the variety of the board is also lacking. And what I mean by variety, and this one I'm talking about Mario Parties 9, 10, Super Mario Party, all of them, is that the themes are relatively generic. Now, you look at, let's say, Mario Party 7. In my opinion, they had the biggest variety of boards. Yes, you had the desert theme board, which is kind of cliche, kind of generic. But you had the Neon City board. You had the Chinese kind of mountain board. You had the Bay board, the tropical board. There was a little more variety there. With the newer Mario Party, they kind of seem to be going down the route of the new Super Mario Brothers game in terms of the boards, where it's going to be either a grass board, or a desert board, or a haunted house board, or a lava board, or that kind of stuff. It falls under the same generic timeline, so it's, it's main grassland, then jungle, then desert, then lava, and haunted house. That's basically the gist of New Super Mario Bros. And what are the maps in the newer games? based off of that. Underwater, it's all the same thing. Super Mario Party does a little bit better than that compared to 9 and 10, but it's still, the Womp Domino Ruins is just kind of a jungle board. The Bob-omb board is just a lava board. And, the city board is probably the most unique. Kamek's Tantalizing Tower, that's pretty unique, that's pretty clever, I'll give them that one. But the Tropical Fruit one, I'm sorry, that one's just pathetic. It doesn't even look like you're on fruit, it's just like, it's stupid. I hate that board. But nevertheless, there's just not a lot of variety. Like in Mario Party 6, right, you got Egad's Garage. You're in this, garage with all these different machines and everything, It looks great. Then you also have this tree that you climb up. There's this castle-like area, and it's not a castle with lava. No, it's a castle where the board, it changes, depending on if it's daytime or nighttime. You can go backwards and forwards, and the board just had a lot more variety, and also that kind of falls into some of the spaces on the board, like the happening spaces. The happening spaces had huge effects on board, because it made board events, and just that kind of stuff. That stuff makes a board, and not having it really takes away from the experience of the party board itself. So that's all that I'll talk about when it comes to the party boards. But to me, the party boards are the most important thing in a game, because to me, that's what makes Mario Party. A lot of people say it's the mini games, which to an extent it does. Mini games do make it, but the boards are the big thing for me. Just what it is. Next up is the mini games. Now, I will admit, most of every single Mario Party has good mini games. In my personal opinion, I can't think of a Mario Party game that has particularly bad mini games. I think the weakest one is probably 5 in terms of mini games. I wasn't a huge fan of all Mario Party 5 mini games. I mean, obviously it had pushy penguins and some of the good ones were in there, but I think Mario Party 5 suffered from the weakest mini games. But other than that, I can't really think of a Mario Party game that has bad mini games. So my biggest complaint with Super Mario Party, however, is just that most of the modes, which like I said, I'll get into modes later, they did not have a huge allotment of minigames per mode. Party mode is one thing. They had 60 minigames, which is relatively small for party mode, but acceptable. But every other additional mode had 5 to 10. And it just did not, if you're going to have these extra modes, which like I said, I'll get into the modes later, they should definitely be able to have an amount of minigames that makes the mode replayable so that you want to see the other minigames. Because most of them, especially for the rhythm one, for example, you play it once, you've seen it all. It's 15-20 minutes, you've seen everything. There's no reason to go back to it. You've played all the minigames, you know what they're all like, there's no reason to go back. So, really, if they want to make, minigames, they have to make a lot of them, and if they want to have a decent amount of modes, they gotta make a bunch of minigames that fall into those modes, or be able to integrate the minigames you already have into those modes. But other than that, I got no complaints about the minigames. I don't think that they're weak. I think Super Mario Party's minigames, in fact, were pretty good. I think they had a decent variety of minigames. So, definitely keep up the work with the minigames, because I think those have always been a strong suit of Mario Party. Playable characters. Now, I will completely admit that Super Mario Party did fix this problem. This problem was mostly in Mario Parties 9, 10, and, the top 100, those things where they just did not have a lot of characters. And it just seemed for no reason that they didn't have a lot of characters. Because they were rushing these games out every year. They were like, we don't want to really design lots of new characters. Mario Party 8, I think, was the biggest one. Besides besides Super Mario Party. Mario Party 8 had, I think, 15? No. I don't know. It had, the cool characters, like Blooper and Hammer Bro came in. It had Birdo, Drybones, Toadette. So all those previous ones were all in there. But every one of those ones I just listed, Toadette, Birdo, Drybones, Hammer Bro, and Blooper, when Mario Party 9 came around, whoosh, all gone. I think Birdo actually was the only one that survived, but all the other ones, gone. As well as some of the other ones as well. I don't remember, because I did not play Mario Party 9 that much, because I didn't like it. But just Mario Party 9's roster and Mario Party 10's roster were so lacking. Horribly lacking. And Top 100 on the 3DS was inexcusably lacking. Only 8 playable characters in that one. That's the game where it's like, oh, we're celebrating Mario Party, and, the minigames, the best minigames from those Mario Party games, from the first 10 Mario Party games, we're celebrating the best of the best. But you only have 8 characters. It's just pathetic, in my personal opinion. Mario Party Island Tour had more characters than Mario Party Top 100. That's how you know it's bad. So, like I said, they did address this problem in Super Mario Party by adding a lot more characters, adding a lot more variety. There's definitely a few omissions from the character roster that makes you scratch my head, like Toad and Toadette. Like, I get it, they're the hosts. But that's the thing that also made Mario Party great before, is that they had unique hosts. Like, they had Tumble from Mario Party 3, they had the Star family, whatever, from Mario Party 5, Twyla and Brighton for Mario Party 6, Toadsworth for Mario Party 7, Ballyhoo for Mario Party 8, so they had unique hosts, and I really, really liked that. But they took that away and brought back, you know, Toad as the host and Toadette, and just took them away from the playable characters cast, which is really unfortunate. And Birdo is not in the playable characters list. So there's definitely still a few omissions that I definitely want back for the next Mario Party game, and bring back the unique host so that you don't have to make these omissions. That's a me thing, but nevertheless, they definitely did well in the playable characters this time around, but there definitely could be more. And, you know, definitely bringing back some of the ones that they took out, like Blooper. Bring back Blooper. I loved Blooper in Mario Party 8. I loved him. Next up, items. Here's where Super Mario Party also fell short. The items. I personally don't think the items in this game reminded me of the items in Mario Party 4, personally. Most of the items being things that affect your dice roll. You know, there wasn't much else there. Yeah, there was a typical, oh, bring you to the star item, you know, that kind of stuff. But there wasn't anything else there. That's where Mario Parties 5, 6, and 7, in my opinion, personally thrived, and 8 to some extent, is that they had very unique items, you know, that felt awesome to use. Like, who didn't love using the 8-bit candy in Mario Party 8? Let's be honest, we all loved using that, you know? And one thing about Mario Parties 5, 6, and 7 is you can use the items on the board. And that was a huge thing, a huge step up, you know, a huge change that, well, you know, people are like, oh, you don't like change that. Well, that was a huge change at the time, putting items on the board. But that was one of the best moves they made because it made the board feel more strategical. Placing your items on these spaces, like, oh, I gotta make sure to avoid that space. You know? To me, that's just a huge thing. You know, being able to place your items on the board and being like, okay, that's a spiny item, that'll take away 10 of my coins, I want to avoid that space. Those kind of things make the board more strategic, and having not a lot of items really takes away from that, in my personal opinion. Making the items mainly affect your dice roll, or swapping places with another player, or just taking you to the star. They are very generic items. You know, I miss the days where you can get a Boo item that steals from another player, or a Hammer Bro item that hits another player with a hammer, and I get it. Like, you know, some of these characters are playable now, but work around that. You know, have a Pianta or another unique Mario character come in and do something. You know, just have that. Just do that. Like, having the items, having a lot of them, a decent amount of variety, and being able to use them on spaces, to me, that's the key to really well-integrated items. And I really hope that they're doing that. Really hope so. So lastly, we're going to talk about the modes of Mario Party. Now, this is where I think I'm probably going to be more modest. I think a minimalistic approach is definitely the best way to go. You don't need a billion different kinds of modes. And honestly, Super Mario Party was the game that proved that. Let's be honest here. How many of you guys go back and play the extra modes in Super Mario Party? Like the rhythm mode, like the river survival mode. How often do you guys go back to those modes? Probably not often, right? If you're going to play Super Mario Party, you play the regular Mario Party mode, or maybe the partner party mode. You know, having those extra modes really doesn't do anything for the game. You know, it's one thing if there's a single player experience, that kind of thing is needed. And minigame playing modes, that's one thing, but extra rhythm games, and a co-op mode with extra co-op minigames, not really needed. Like, those are just extra tacked on gimmicky kind of things, and really not needed. Maybe one of them would be cool, like if you had 10, you know, if you had the rhythm minigames and there's like a decent amount of time spent devoted to the rhythm minigames and there's like 20 or 30 of them, okay, cool, extra mode, cool. But if there's not a lot of depth put into it, if it's just one and done, there's really no point to it, and that's how I felt River Survival and the rhythm mode were in particular. Those are the ones I'm pointing out, and probably to some extent Toad's Rec Room. So, yeah, so not a lot needed, but each one, if you're going to have them, they need to stand out, and they need to have a lot of content in each mode to make them worth having. So that's it, guys. Thank you so much for watching this video talking about what I think they should do with the Mario Party series in the future. Hopefully they can continue to make these games way better. Super Mario Party was definitely a step in the right direction, but they've got a lot of work to do. And I'm honestly guessing that since we didn't get a Mario Party game this year, since the past 4 years, we have gotten a Mario Party minigame each year religiously. I think that means they're going to be really working hard on this next Mario Party game, and I really hope that it's good. I really hope so. So thank you guys so much for watching, and until next time, I'll see you guys in the next video.